Last season, Jahmyr Gibbs, 182 rush attempts, 945 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, 52 receptions on 71 targets, 316 yards, and 1 touchdown through the air. Thoughts on Jahmyr Gibbs?
So unpopular opinion.
I think
As
we're about to
long
share it.
as long as David Montgomery is still on the Detroit Lions,
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs is not going to be a top 5 running back.
Yeah. I don't think
Like
that's not unpopular
good
among
running
this
back.
crowd.
A good running back, yes. A top 12 running back, I think that's probably likely with what that Detroit offense can do and Gibbs' versatility, both with running the ball and catching it like we saw last year in this Detroit offense. But I do not see him taking over the short yardage goal line work. I think that when Detroit really wants to ground and pound someone, they're not handing the ball to Gibbs. They're handing it to Montgomery and leaning on their offensive line in some of those. And that's okay, right? You need both of these guys, but it caps Jahmyr Gibbs' ceiling, is all I'm saying. So at his current price tag in the draft, I don't have any Jahmyr Gibbs this year, guys. I don't. And maybe I haven't just gone through enough drafts. I sure feel like I have, but it's just not where I feel totally comfortable because he is in a true timeshare, and the back that he is splitting carries with is also very good and criminally undervalued in the fantasy community.
He had 6 weeks last year where he finished inside the top 10, and realistically, 5 of those weeks he was a top 3 running back, top 3 or top 2, never number 1 on the week. But outside of those 6 weeks, he was running back 3 territory most of it. So it was a boom bust year for Jahmyr Gibbs last year. When the weeks were good, they were really good. I think that's again what we're going to see because David Montgomery is a valuable asset to what they want to do there in Detroit and then how they want to run their offense. So best ball, sure. Give me Jahmyr Gibbs. I think over the course of the season, I think you're going to be a little bit disappointed with where you have to take Jahmyr Gibbs versus where he's going to finish up. I know that Kevin has said it's an unpopular opinion, but it's an opinion that I totally agree with, that David Montgomery is going to eat into what Jahmyr Gibbs finishes at the end of the season.
When you look at Jahmyr Gibbs, right, like he was kind of that definition of boom bust, and some of that, yes, is kind of the rookie coming in, learning the ropes, things like that. But where he really shined were a lot of games that David Montgomery missed due to the injury that Monty had last year, right? Like this is one of those that when both of those guys were in there, Monty was the far more consistent back to it, right? Like didn't necessarily have the upside that Jahmyr Gibbs, but Monty was a guy that you could reliably count on to start and be, running back 14, 15, 16 on the week. Didn't necessarily go out there and get you a running back 1 overall, or finish in RB1 territory a lot, but was very, very, very consistent throughout the season, giving you RB2 finishes on a week, which as a guy that you were able to draft in the, as an RB3 or RB4 in a lot of cases, like those are the types of things that can set yourself apart in a draft and really set your team up for success. And at that point, right, like that's what I would do as well. Is I'd pass on Jahmyr Gibbs, draft Monty later on to get the running work in Detroit, and go out and get myself a high octane wide receiver here in the first round.